what's going on, my gems? This is me, Diamond, again. Even though I've watched plenty of Chris Chan documentaries, I'm gonna watch the entirety of A Comprehensive History. I already know this entire video is gonna be like split into like many separate clips because how fucking long it is. There's 87 videos and all the videos are like between 30 to 40 minutes, so it's like, Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna get through all of them today. Maybe I'll watch a few of them while I'm in California. I don't know. We're gonna go to California in literally just 2 days, so anyways, I'm just gonna go on and watch this because I want to. Part 1. Okay, this has subtitles, thank God.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and dudes of all teenagers, as well as the gals. My name is Christian Chandler. I am here, and y'all are there.
Let me eat my pizza.
Chris Chan. Arguably the most documented person in history.
Yeah. I mean, he's like so fucking documented. I feel like he would be considered like a historical legend. Not a legend, but you know, like, I mean, like I said, he's the most documented person in history now, which is actually insane. Like, we're seeing a fucking historical event right here, right now, with this person. I think it's just crazy. God, it's gonna take forever to end it. Oh God.
All you do is make me feel sad, depressed. He should love his mother. She misses him. Hello, we're live on the internet. What do you want? Mom, hello. I love the women outside.
Women.
Do not hate. Hate is not so good.
Hold on. What did you say? I remember that.
I want everything about my house off the internet!
And yeah, you're filming inside your house.
Don't call anybody.
What? I'm aftershave. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah, whatever.
What made him this way?
What sounded you?
What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Chris Chan.
Gonna be good. Man, this fucking music. Oh my God, why is the editing so crazy already?
Christopher Weston
I should probably
Chandler
move my.
was born on
Okay. Oh Jesus Christ! Earbuds. Just see me like. Okay.
was born on February 24th, 1982,
Jesus.
in Charlottesville, Virginia, to parents Bob, aged 54, and Barbara, 40.
See, I don't want to say anything because like my grandparents on my dad's side, they had him like a little late as well, like similar that age. So I'm not gonna say anything about the age. Even though I just did.
The family held Bob's life accomplishments very proudly, as he had at least 7 patents to his name,
Damn.
including mechanisms used in the production of Kleenex and molding of plastic water containers.
Oh damn. Okay.
Bob was very world-conscious and was an avid collector of stamps since a very young age. Later in life, he developed a love for music, especially foreign music. He eventually amassed a collection of over 10,000 vinyl records.
Fuck you,
He
CCSD.
had a son and daughter from a previous marriage, the relationships with whom were strained, to say the least. Barbara was a secretary with Virginia Power. She had a habit of hoarding her belongings and was an emotionally abusive person, which convinced her then 17-year-old son, Cole Smithy, to seek independence and live life on his own. So when Chris came along, Bob and Barb got a chance to start anew. The new family started their new life in their humble Ruckersville home.
Sorry, Clark County School District's Instagram literally just reposted same fucking post that they made yesterday, which is about stupid pouches. Jesus, stupid phone pouches. They posted it twice in 2 days. They posted it yesterday and then they just decided to repost it today. What the fuck? It's not gonna change your opinions, motherfucker. Fuck you. I'm so glad I graduated. Jesus Christ. Because I'm tired. Fuck CCSD. One of the worst school districts ever in America. Terrible! They suck! Why do you think we're so low in ranking when it comes to education? We're ranked like 49. I think we're ranked 50 at this point. I don't even know. We're low as hell, which is bad. Like 49 out of like 50 states, which is bad. My mic just fell in my
Chris
pizza.
wasn't quite
Shit.
right. The first signs of his autism could be witnessed in 1983. Despite his condition being congenital, he had stated that his autism was brought about by one particularly traumatic event when he was 18 months old.
That's bullshit. That is weird because autism does not come from trauma. There are a lot of disorders that do. Autism is not one of them.
Roach, or Roach, would look after baby Christopher whenever his parents would go out in the evenings. One of these nights, Chris inadvertently infuriated her, and she locked him in a room filled with toys, in the dark, alone.
Oh, I remember this. Jesus
This
Christ.
would
That's so
prove so
fucked up.
traumatic that he refused to speak for the next
That's
6
terrible.
years. Even though he sees this event as the source of all his troubles, he does not blame his parents for keeping Roach as his babysitter, for they did not know better.
Oh, what?
Despite living out his childhood
Didn't
as
know
a
better.
mute, Chris was anything but quiet.
Man, he was
He
more mature
confessed
than me.
later on in life that he screeched often and was very troublesome to his parents. In 1985, the Hammer household moved into the neighborhood. The Hammers and the Chandlers struck up a cordial relationship, which led to Chris forming a bond with the Hammer's daughter, Sarah.
What?
Looking back, Chris considered her to be his
Okay.
closest childhood friend, and that she greatly helped him with his autism. However, from what is known of their relationship, it is also likely that she took advantage of Chris's innocence and trust, and may be seen more as a bully than a friend. For example, she once
I'm not
told him that
surprised.
Casper the Friendly Ghost was hiding under her house.
You know, I'm actually not surprised by that. A lot of autistic people, they all happen to have this kind of, like, common traumatic event. I've done many times. It's terrible. As an autistic person, it's somehow gonna happen at least once ever in our lives. It's really weird. It's like we're all like on different sides of the spectrum, and yet we all have this one thing in common: is that we're outcasts.
Naturally, Chris crawled into the Hammer's crawl space to find him, only to find spiderwebs, bugs, and dirt instead.
Fucking hell,
Sarah
I need-
locked him
I-
in.
I need to get
After
an
about
editor.
half an
I
hour,
swear to God,
her
it's
dad
gonna take
came to
forever.
his rescue. On another occasion,
still
she
need to do
told
some
Chris
college
that
stuff.
if he were to eat the upper thing of a honeysuckle, it would taste like honey. This is a reference to the berries of a honeysuckle, which can be slightly harmful if ingested in large doses.
That's terrible.
Fortunately, their parents told them of the dangers of doing so before Christopher could fulfill Sarah's wish.
Good.
At the age of 5, Chris began studying at Greene County Primary School together with Sarah. It is not known how he was treated here or how he got along with the other kids. In addition to taking
Can't
regular
imagine the best
classes
way
at the
possible.
primary school, he received language training at James Madison University. In 1987, in a lengthy letter addressed to Chris, dated December 26th, Bob offered his outlook on life and presented some life advice for his son.
I can just do my college stuff while
There
I
are
watch
many
this.
sides to a mountain
realized.
and many ways to climb it. If you get stopped, back off, regroup, and try another way. If you are still not successful, maybe it is not meant to
Oh,
be.
no.
If it is meant to be, having it on the back burner simmering for a while is not bad. It will pop up again, and the way to attain it will be there. Everything in its time. Your mother and I have done our best for you, and in return,
have the
we
correct
expect
major.
at least
Oh,
that
my
from
shit.
you, for yourself and your children.
Am I not logged in?
He also
What's going
expressed
on?
wishes for his son to inherit and hold dearly his vast collection of music, movies, stamps, and art prints. He reminisced about the straight razor which he inherited from his grandfather, which he carelessly broke while using it as a screwdriver. Bob still held on to that broken razor his entire life because his grandfather wanted him to have it. Bob hoped that Chris would share his father's sentiment. I hope that you will not carelessly misuse, waste, or destroy the value of the many things I have collected for you. First, learn all about them, how to use them and enjoy them, their value, and how you can thoughtlessly waste their value. Then enjoy them as I have. For example, my very good stamp collection, or all the recorded popular music on cassette tape, VCR tapes, and records. My books on popular music, movies, entertainers, musical theater, ship models, my daylilies, gazebo, and dreams. This letter offers an insight into Bob's character, as he feared that all he had accomplished over the course of his life may be lost. In 1989, during a weekly trip to the toy store with his mother, Chris picked up a GoBot up on display and slowly started to read out the text on the package,
Oh, wow.
ending his 6 years of silence. Later that same year, Bob and Chris converted
out
the
of
shed
this
in their
shit.
backyard into a workshop, christening it the Dreaming Studio. Bob had hoped that he and his son would build things together there. He even commemorated the space with a plaque, Dreaming Studio of Mr. C and Little C, where dreams do come true. However, when asked about it, Chris could not recall what, if anything, had been built there. It was instead mostly used by Barbara for storage. For Christmas of that year, he got a Nintendo Game Boy. This was also the year that the family got Patty Chandler, a Beagle Spitz mix, which they picked up as a pup from their Aunt Karina. Chris grew very attached to the dog, displaying a fondness and arguably a love rarely shown for anything or anyone else in his life. In 1990, Bob co-hosted a jazz marathon on WTJU radio. During the program, he displayed his keen knowledge on 20s and 30s jazz music.
Okay, now we go on to performance number 2, which is Tight Like That. This is November the 9th, 1928, with Chicago personnel, Tampa Red's Hokum Jug Band. It's a great group of Chicago musicians featuring kazoo, guitar, and jug by Hudson Whitaker. Tampa Red's guitar, Thomas A. Dorsey is on the piano and the washboard. Frankie Half-Pipe Jackson vocals interact to make this a great session. Listen for some very good kazoo and jugs. And notice how Half-Pint Jackson laughs like scat singing. Very unusual.
Okay, fun.
1990 also marked the last year of Chris's tenure at Greene County Primary School. For his 4th grade studies, he transferred to Nathaniel Greene Elementary School. It was here where he allegedly had very distressing experiences. He asserts that the staff at the school didn't know how to handle autistic children and treated him cruelly.
This is in Ohio, right? Hold on. No, Nathaniel Greene. Okay, we're not. Which one was that called? Greene County Primary School. Okay. I got confused because he used primary school and elementary school simultaneously. Like I got confused because I'm like, Americans and we do not use primary school. There's a lot of other countries that do, but not us. So I was a little confused. I guess they do call themselves Greene County Primary School. Oh my god, okay, I don't care about that. Okay, about us. Okay, it's in Georgia. Alright.
School didn't know how to handle autistic children and treated him cruelly. Chris contends that 5 members of staff abused him by pinning him down to the ground, holding his wrists and ankles, and audio taping his cries.
So it was just like a prone restraint, which you should probably not do that, because that could possibly kill someone. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure it has killed a few autistic people ever. Like, it's pretty fucked up. Don't do it.
He claimed that the principal forced him to sit on his lap and said offensive things to him. But Lola Christopher resisted, and the advances never went further than that. The principal is also claimed to be gay, which Chris feels justifies his homophobia.
What the fuck?
I was abused
That's
by one.
interesting.
A homosexual principal at my elementary school slapped me on his lap, said some offensive things to me, and I felt uncomfortable.
Making all gay people look bad. What the fuck?
Chris's accounts of the events could not be verified. It is also not unlikely that an event like this could have taken place.
That's fair, honestly.
Though Chris never specified the reasoning behind their attacks, nor did he state whether him being restrained and being assaulted by the principal were separate or related events, it is possible that he may have been restrained and verbally abused as a form of disciplinary action, and even placed in a scream room, which was a fairly common school installation for dealing with autistic children up until the mid-1990s.
Jesus Christ, it looks so isolated. It looks so, like, almost claustrophobic in a way. I don't know. There's not too much space in that room, so yeah, no, I don't really agree with that.
Whatever event transpired,
He's falling
it forced
out!
Chris's parents to take him away from Nathaniel Greene Elementary School. To further things, they took the case to Greene County Court. After the school board threatened to take Chris out of mainstream education and instate him into a special needs school, the Chandlers dropped the case.
Oh,
For the remainder of the school year, he was homeschooled. It was around this tumultuous time that young Christopher had an uplifting experience that would change his life. During a shopping trip in Richmond, possibly in December 1992, but in other accounts he stated that it was 1989, he came across the Leonard Bernstein Symphony Orchestra, a show comprised of animatronic characters that is held around Christmas time at the Regency Square shopping mall. The conductor, Leonard Bernstein, is made to be fully interactive with his audience with the help of a human controller behind the scenes. On this blessed day, the turnout for the show was weak, so Chris got extra attention from the bear. When Leonard asked him his name, the person controlling the animatronic misheard it and answered back, calling him Christian. The boy took this as a profound sign and felt that he should be called Christian.
Okay.
In order for Chris to continue with formal education, Bob and Chris moved to Chesterfield County, while Barbara remained in the family house in Ruckersville with Patty, so she could keep working.
Okay.
Christian enrolled in Providence Middle School in Richmond. He looked back fondly over his time here, giving special credit to his teacher Virginia Sanford. She was the most influential teacher in my life. During my years at Providence Middle School, she taught me better social skills, how to better cope with other people, bullies, and life.
Nice.
With a positive and fun tomboyish attitude, she was a teacher any child would be most proud to look up to and be taught by.
Okay.
He also forged a friendship with Natasha Turner, a girl a few years older than him. He lost romantic interest in her when he saw her smoking.
Oh my god.
They would often hang out together at the bus stop. He would sometimes give her money on behalf of his father for her friendship and attention. Chris would later realize that Natasha was, in a sense, a friend with benefits. She would stay with him and be friendly in exchange for a monetary reward from Bob. Bob knew that his son had little hope in forming true friendships otherwise.
The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the cool new TV show, is on the air.
In the fall of '93, Sega, the video game developer, held a watch and win sweepstakes contest in conjunction with their Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. The lucky winner would get a $1,000 shopping spree at KB Toys. And that winner was Chris.
Oh wow.
Christian is one of only about 100 winners nationally to receive $1,000 worth of Sega games and equipment. For his parents, it's just another example of how well he's doing. Christian is a high-functioning autistic child. This past fall, on his own initiative, he entered a contest based on a favorite cartoon character.
Wow.
Had to do was exactly what Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, and I'd listen to what Sonic says at the end of it, and write it down for a whole week, and then I had to mail it in, and I had to be drawn out of a hat, and I just won.
And Christian's father says it only takes a few hours for him to master an electronic game and then move on to another.
Nice.
I can't master any of them. That's it for now. And it's
This is the first of many competitions that he entered during his life and has cemented itself as a likely key reinforcer to his future sense of entitlement.
That's true. I can see that.
On December 29th, 1993, the Richmond Times-Dispatch published an article about Christian's magical encounter with Leonard Bearstein entitled, "It Took a Talking Bear to Give the Name a Young Boy Loves." The boy's father recounts the events of the day. Since this was early in the Christmas season, on a Thursday afternoon, the crowd was light. The conversation between Leonard and Christopher lasted about an hour.
Oh wow.
Christopher was spellbound. Something unusual happened during that conversation. When Leonard Bearstein, in a decidedly British accent, asked Christopher his name, the bear must have misunderstood what the boy replied. Leonard started calling our son Christian. What better name for the Christmas season? And the name stuck like glue. From that time on, for the past year, his name has been Christian Weston Chandler. Christian is very emphatic about that. Bob also offered up some insight into the family's situation. Christopher is a high-functioning autistic child. While intellectually, his age level is 12 or 13. Socially, he is around age 7 or 8. He has some behavior problems with his peers and relates better with children a few years younger than him. The Greene County school system was not equipped to teach an autistic child, Mr. Chandler said. The Chesterfield County school system has accepted him with open arms. The article also mentions that Bob had originally wanted to name his son Christian, but had chickened out. It is unclear what scared him off from naming his child Christian. In any case, the following year, the boy had his name legally changed to Christian Weston Chandler.
It's like Christian was meant to be his name.
Retired from her secretarial position at Virginia Power and moved in with Bob and Chris, reuniting the boy with Patty the dog. In late spring, Chris graduated from Providence Middle School. As a parting gift, Mrs. Sanford wrote a personal, touching, and prophetic letter to Chris. Well, it's been 3 years now at Providence, and it's all over.
Damn.
Where has the time gone to? The most important parting words I can leave you with, well, are to always remember this. You show people where your weak points are located, then they will know how to push your button. If you never show them, they will never know. I hope you will have an enjoyable summer and come back to visit. Do your very best at Manchester, put your best foot forward, and treat others as you wish to be treated. Love, Mrs. Sanford.
Manchester?
The Manchester in question happened to be Manchester High School,
Alright, let's look at Manchester High School. I wanna know. Manchester High School is in Virginia, okay.
where, according
Obviously
to
not the
Christian,
Manchester
he spent the
in
happiest
England.
years of his life. Over the course of 4 semesters, he studied Spanish, of which he has a very loose grasp. For class assignments, he adopted a Spanish name, Ricardo, a common practice for students in order to better get into character and the culture of the language.
Fair.
However, Christian got too into character and often used Ricardo in class assignments outside of Spanish, and even considers it as part of his real name.
Did you theater then? Because he's really getting in character with Ricardo.
He used to sit right in front of the bus door, so he could always get off the fastest. However, during his freshman year, he got into an altercation with another boy who wanted to be off the bus
Jesus
first.
Christ.
He punched Christian in the face, knocking his glasses off. In order to resolve the issue, Chris was forced to take the special ed bus to school from then on, which deeply affected him. He always felt very uncomfortable associating with others whom he called slow in the minds.
Okay, I feel like his parents definitely should have taught him discipline. Even if he won like $1,000 worth of fucking Sonic stuff. Even if, like, I think he was just lucky that day, but he should have been taught discipline. Like, I can tell you as an autistic person already, this is going, like, off the rails. And yeah, this is a result of parents not really being parents. Like, oh, they're autistic, I don't really have to teach them anything. I feel like you really have to be there for them as parents. It's like, autistic people are typically harder to parent. And I'm gonna be so real, if you're not prepared for an autistic child, possibly, I don't know about trying to be a parent. I don't know. If you're not prepared for that, you're probably not prepared for children. If you want to avoid that risk, just don't have children. I'm sorry.
Ended up with this really worse off, mentally challenged person who could hardly ever speak other than, That boy bopped me on the back of the head for his own laughs. The special ed teacher who rode on the bus talked with his brother about it, and he kept him from bopping me. But having to put up with his nonsensical slur talk was still just as cringy and horrifying. Ugh. Among his other activities, he served as a water boy and allegedly a manager for the school basketball team, the Manchester Lancers, along with Joseph Herring, one of Christian's only male
That's
friends.
kind of cool, actually.
Chris had always gravitated towards girls, and at Manchester, this was no exception. He had a sizable group of female friends,
Gal pals,
which he
I remember
dubbed
this.
gal pals. Among the first that he met was Molly Quarles, a cheerleader at the time whom he met as a freshman. He fondly remembered them being paired up during a matchup event for Valentine's Day. Laura Beth Dorazio was another cheerleader Chris met and fell for, but after he confessed that he had a crush on her, she told him that she would like them to remain just as friends. Tiffany Gowan was said to be a real good girl to Chris, and he has described her as a bit of a tomboy and a peppermint patty to his Charlie Brown. Kelly Andes was his biggest crush, and says they were high
Peppermint
school
Patty
sweethearts,
to Charlie
even
Brown.
though they
I don't know, as someone who's watched a lot of the Peanut films, maybe I just don't remember it very well, but I don't remember those two. I don't remember Charlie Brown actually liking Peppermint Patty, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, right here, this is on the Peanuts wiki. Peppermint Patty has a secret crush on Charlie Brown. However, Charlie Brown is not aware of her feelings for him and only likes her as a friend. I feel like if anything, Chris Chan is the Peppermint Patty. If anything. I feel like.
relationship together. Sarah Bevel was in the same chemistry class along with Kelly and Chris. Sarah had a boyfriend at the time, and Chris watched them interact, hoping to experience that kind of relationship one day.
Huh, okay.
It was fun to just watch them flirt with each other. I could have learned from that, but my autism and normal social phobias held me back then.
I felt that, honestly.
Miranda Mitchell was the big brain in his circle of friends and shared computer graphics class with Christian. His group of gal pals were possibly not genuinely interested in a friendship with Chris, but rather stayed with him out of pity or as protection.
Shit.
A later
That's gotta
comment
hurt,
made
man.
by Chris suggests that the group had made an arrangement
You don't
with Bob
have
and
to
or the
deal with
principal
him,
of the high
though.
school.
Like, if you actually don't like genuinely like him that much, you don't have to be with him. You don't have to be with him, but you know, pity.
There is a wealth of information that has been attained, which helps to refute his previous claims that he held an honor roll streak all throughout high school. For one of his assignments, he had to conduct an interview with his parents, offering some more information about their life experiences. For the question, "Why did you choose to have children?" they answered, "It's nice to have kids." For "What adjustments did you have to
Interesting.
make after your first child arrived?" they answered, "Laughter from 4 kids and 3 situations." referring to the troubled past marriages and
the
estranged
fuck?
children. Interestingly,
Really
when asked
interesting.
about what has been the hardest part about parenting, the answer was dealing with the school system.
That's
In another
fair
assignment
enough,
concerning
honestly.
families, Chris inserted mathematical equations into his definitions, making them hard to read and understand. For example, he defined a nuclear family as a mother, father, and X is more than or equal to one child sharing the same household. He also described adoption as a right to raise a child who is biologically their own. Christian took part in a parenting exercise in which he wore an empathy belly to simulate the feeling of being a pregnant woman. He wrote a report describing his experience. Having a belly like a pregnant woman was really an awkward experience. When I tried to get my pencil bag out of my backpack, the belly held me back by putting pressure on my left leg. Luckily my arms were long, but if they were any shorter, I would have had a real problem to reach the pencil bag. While I was sitting in my chair, the
it's
belly
like
made
really
it
giving you the
uncomfortable for me to
actual
cross my legs.
experience. Like,
And
most
while
likely,
my legs
I
were
don't know.
separated, it put pressure on my private part, which gave me a strange, weird feeling.
Ow.
He wrote an essay about Japan's involvement in World War II.
Oh.
It should be noted that he addressed himself as Ricardo W. Chandler, with Christian placed in parentheses, and wrote English in Spanish. The teacher justly corrected this.
My brother's
According
therapist
to Chris,
door.
the war was a very tragic event, with guns, insults, and yuck. He continues. The Japanese and Americans had deemed glowering at each other like boxers from opposite corners of a 5,000-mile ring, waiting for the bout to begin. So, the US and Japan really wanted to get it on.
Oh,
He also quoted that President Woodrow Wilson tried to get Japan to withdraw from Shandong. Christian's essay ended up being a mishmash of events of both world wars. In addition, he referenced several books, however all of his findings could be found within the first 8 pages. The teacher commented, restate thesis. There is a page titled Warm Fuzzies for Christian W. Chandler,
Warm Fuzzies?
which most likely was a class activity in which the students wrote nice things to each other in order to promote acceptance. The messages left for Chris read very bland, such as, I like your clothes, is a very funny and nice person. Okay, funny. You are a nice person. Nice watch. You tell great jokes.
Very funny
and
guy.
You tell fun jokes. But perhaps the most baffling piece of writing that there is on record is his 13 lucky writing tips, an assignment for English class, in which he switches 4 tips in to what most closely resembles Spanish. In any case, it is little more than unintelligible garble.
Okay.
Use standard written English. Do not use contractions in formal writing. You must have a thesis statement in each essay. The thesis statement
Oh, yeah, what the heck?
stanze de introductori paragraphe. Tu escribes de literature. El thesis include el llama de author y llama de work. Los paragraphs soporte
So
y
it is just like
relate
Spanglish
el
here.
thesis. Los paragraphs tienes
He really
el
switched to
topic
Spanglish over
estances hablan el unifying concepto
Very
de el
interesting.
paragraph. Los details support y relate a el topic estance de paragraph. Necesitas los adecuate soporte details. Escribe el literature en presente tense. Necesitas 3 muchacho mirar de puente. Necesitas creas muy bien tu escribes creas sense y es muy logical. Cheques tu escribir muy carefully. From the school report, it can be seen that he failed all but 2 of his 14 assignments, earning a D+ for the year. At age 16, Chris wrote a poem entitled Song of Christian for his class, loosely based on Walt Whitman's Song of Myself. He decided to record his creation for posterity in video form. The video itself is poorly lit, but there isn't much to see anyway.
Okay.
I hear America singing as I sing of myself, and you experience as I experience. The problems of yourself are my problems. The ear of the young singing cries of happiness. The children's song is song of laughter. At age 6 weeks, I sang the song of laughter. Then at 1.5 years of age, the Lord put the mute button on me. My song that I sing, although I talk well, my peer relationship is low and my loneliness is off the scale.
Okay. I've been far.
Anyway, that's my poem.
Beyond just reciting the poem, he pretends to be the enthusiastic
that was
host
gross.
of the Christian Chandler Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Christian Chandler Show. Pretty let me host up. Now here he is, the host of the most, Christian Chandler. Good evening, friends, and welcome to the Christian Chandler Show. I am your host, Christian Chandler.
He then rambles on about his fascination with the Sonic the Hedgehog universe and talks about Bionic the Hedgehog, his first Sonic-related creation, which he came up with during basketball practice.
And then I have science friend that helps. Of course, Tails that flies, Knuckles he punches and climbs, and Bionic, well, you heard rumors about Bionic. He's that science brother I made myself, who's that very good basketball player and mechanic. I can tell you the background story on him.
He proceeds to rant about receiving an F in English class.
I see about that. That's about time I sign off. But before I go, there's one thing to say to the teacher. An F in English class? You have got to be kidding me. I mean, an F.
I know where this is going.
I do not even know when was the last time I got an F. I mean,
Yeah, don't we speak English?
Back in old Green County. That stupid place. Yeesh. That Green County Primary. Actually, it was a nice school, but then it came to time of Green Elementary. That's why I got the F. Anyway, then many years go by. Then you came along and gave me a F. I mean, I started off with an A, and you just lowered it. I'm getting sick and tired of this lower thing. What do you have against the handicapped children anyway? I mean, I know my handicap is autism, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And you, Mrs. Bird, I think that F is very disrespectful. I mean, I am very emotional about it. Anyway, it's time I sign off. Well, this has been the Christian Chandler Show.
Huh.
Around the same time, he made a series of stop-motion videos of races set in his Lego-made town called Quickville, based on his own initials. They were made with a Game Boy camera, which produced grainy, low-resolution grayscale photos, or, alternatively, low-quality stop-motion video. The awkward frame rate makes it difficult to discern what is actually going on, but it is important to note that all the racers are named either after pop culture characters that Christian idolized or people he knew in real life.
Okay.
This is the earliest account of Chris using people to play out his fantasies.
The biggest trend in kids' toy history, it's multi-billion dollars.
Yay.
Throughout the late 1990s, the Pokemon franchise was spreading across North America, with Chris keeping a keen eye on it. He began playing the trading card game, and included illustrations of Pokemon characters in his Spanish homework. He also wrote a lengthy essay detailing how the Pokemon came into their Pokeballs, with which his
Oh, well, I mean, I know there's no fucking, like, innuendo behind it, but, like, Jesus Christ, I have a dirty ass behind, I'm so sorry.
was very pleased. The year 1999 marked the birth of his wall of originals. This was a designated portion of the wall which displayed Pokemon trading cards that Chris made himself.
Kinda cool.
It featured original Pokemon, such as a female Pikachu called Chikachu, and Platistic, a plant which is autistic.
We love that. A Chikachu? I'm sorry, like, okay, the way you can tell that a Pikachu is female is if it has, like, if its tail is, like, heart-shaped.
Chris himself also appeared several times. His fascination grew to a point that he would dress up as the Pokemon character Ash Ketchum out in public. Around mid-1999, Christian launched his first website, a simple Pokemon-themed effort humbly called Quick's Pokesite, cementing the moniker Quick. It was soon replaced by Quick's Pokesite 2 with a new logo designed by Miranda. He updated it with personal and Pokemon-related news here, semi-regularly, for the next year and a half.
My friend gonna keep inviting
This year
me to
also
fucking
marked
Team
Christian's
Milk.
first visit to The Game Place, a game and hobby store which allowed returning customers to play video games, board games, or trading card games. It quickly became his weekly haunt. The Pokemon craze was captured on film for Richmond's NBC affiliate's WWBT News. The report featured excited young kids playing the game and trying to explain the phenomenon.
How do you play the game?
I can't explain it, it's too long.
Their bewildered parents standing witness.
I'm watching and I still have no clue.
And the 17-year-old Chris in action.
I'll put out my Dragonair, even though it has 60 damage on it. Oh boy. And now it has 300 on it. Slam attack.
So if you had the time to tell
To commemorate Valentine's Day of the year 2000, Christian wrote a Valentine's Day hymn, a free verse effort in which he reveals that he holds very traditional views on courtship and the predetermined rules of etiquette for men and women. On a date, the man could not pay the bill, so his date slammed her door in his face.
What the
man's
fuck?
coat over a puddle. The maiden walks. Then the man trips and pays the laundry bill.
Huh.
Under the moonlight, the couples of the world kiss. But unfortunately for a few, they are interrupted by their parents.
Wait, hold on, I gotta read that. Night is right for love, except for the werewolf. Whoops, wrong holiday. Oh, hold on, what was I gonna do? Shit. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I was just gonna change my clothes. Ah, fuck. Hold on. Okay, wait. Pick my Billie Eilish shirt. No! Oops. My bad. I need another drink.
Date which he held in the highest regard.
Okay.
Among the guests in attendance were a handful of Christian's gal pals and his half-brother Cole. Nearly
half-brother?
3 years after the fact, he reminisced about the event. I will never forget my 18th
Well, I
birthday
forgot
party.
that his
It
mother's
was the
been
best
divorced
of
so
the
many
rest.
times.
The weekend before my real birthday, my mother and I prepared for the party I was
There you
going to
go.
host that day. We hung balloons and streamers, and we laid refreshments on the table. At the door was 4 of my high school amigas, and one of them brought a friend. We ate pepperoni pizza and drank Pepsi. It was great. As mother lit the candles, I was filling up with ecstasy. After I blew the candles, I was presented with a big jawbreaker from Kelly, an R.L. Stein novel from Sarah, a planer with stickers from Miranda, and a rabbit doll with jelly beans from Tiffany. We watched Good Burger and had fun.
Ooh, Good
After
Burger.
they
Nice.
left, it was done. What did I wish for? I'm not telling. Even though he seemed pleased that his gal pals came to celebrate, he was never pictured together with them, preferring to sit alone. He is also photographed wearing a pair of jeans with a suspicious stain on his crotch. Some have speculated that it is dried semen, but it is unlikely. About a month later, Chris was tasked with designing a CD jewel case for his graphic design class. On the fateful day on March 17th, 2000, I wanted to feature on my favorite hit CD cover lifelong hero Sonic the Hedgehog and cute newer character Pikachu, but copyrighted characters were prohibited from the project. So, in my mind, I pondered and pondered when it hit me visually. Sonic and Pikachu combined. In a way to escape copyright, he combined Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu to create Sonichu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon, which Christian considers to be one of his greatest life accomplishments. The CD tracklist itself consists of Pokemon, Sonic and Mario related music, with intermittent appearances of old-time jazz from artists such as Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby, undoubtedly an influence from his father.
Okay, interesting.
Another month later, Chris had to document a week of his life for a school project. The result was A Week with Christian W. Chandler,
Interesting.
a self-documentary, which detailed the events of his life from April 29th to May 5th, 2000. The front cover features a blurry photo of Chris and Patty, with a discolored, ghostly Sonic below. He writes it in the third person, as if followed by a documentary crew. On April 29th, he visits Books A Million to participate in the Pokemon Trading Card Game League. Afterwards, he enters a costume contest, and since he wore his regular Ash Ketchum outfit, he wins and receives a cool t-shirt as a reward. The following day, he talks about packing and moving things from their home in Richmond to their old house in Ruckersville.
Oh, nice.
The next day, he goes to high school. He uses a tripod to help take pictures of himself. During class, Mr. Goss discussed the difference between Shakespeare's world and the real world of today. Christian rested his eyes after Mr. Goss's discussion and before the bell rang. Next, he had trigonometry. I'd hate to be Christian when his nerves kicked into action after waking up from a nutty snooze cruise, but I was. Next was computer graphics. It was great for him today, because he got to print his own CD cover. Next was Spanish too. He took a quiz today, but I think he feels confident in his work. And finally, after a hard, odd day, he rides home on a bus, but unfortunately, it had a few slow in the minds on it. The following day, he repeats the routine of snoozing through class, and that on even days, he eats lunch with Tiffany and Sarah. For the following day, he describes his daily activities at home, which mostly consist of playing video games and managing his website. The next day, he talks about working in computer graphics class and making a Mother of the Year award for Barbara, which he plans to give to her on Mother's Day. For the final day's report, Chris states that it was a difficult Friday. One of his duties included taking part in a senior group photo. After the long wait for the pictures to be taken, being crowded like a sardine surrounded by immature teenage boys, and having the hot, hot sun shining down on him and everyone else, he went back to the shady entrance. After the photo shoot, Chris was picked up by his dad. And that concludes our week-long documentary of A Week with Christian W. Chandler, the autistic boy that has made it this far.
Okay, period.
Parentheses.
Nice. Okay, I see.
Chris wouldn't pass up an opportunity to go to the senior prom, so he did, bringing his mother along as a date.
Oh no, no. Knowing what he does with his mother years later, this is kind of scary.
Labeled the set of photos as the senior prom, it is possible that it was some other social gathering, due to the fact that the event is held during the daytime.
True.
Looking back on the prom, he claimed that he was naive about dating, unlike the other students. Out of pity, or out of genuine compassion, Tiffany asked Christian to dance. I hesitated at first, but she grabbed my hand and pulled me onto the dance floor. We danced for what felt like hours. It was the most pleasant experience of that night, and I thank her for dancing with me then. He felt that her willingness to dance with him meant that she was attracted to him, and stated that if they were to meet again, they would start a relationship. Graduation, the end of high school, the end of his interactions with his gal pals. Most importantly, it was the day Christian had to be recognized for his achievements.
Yay.
But unfortunately, this wasn't the case. I only got recognized for my grades with a star pin, yet they had more fancier awards for more important qualities. I should have been highly recognized for my artistic talents I showed in my many art classes for the award ceremonies before graduation day. I felt crestfallen greatly from not getting recognized for any of my talents. I excelled in math too, for the love of God. I was so jealous. I was a high-functioning autistic boy who came way beyond out of his social shell, only to get zilch, nada, zip, a big fat zero. I felt so devastated and out of sync as a result of his heartbreak. He only went up on stage to receive his diploma without looking at anyone's face nor shaking anyone's hand. After the ceremony was over, he found himself an unoccupied table, sat by it, and cried.
Shit, dude.
Eventually, his mother and later Tiffany came to console him. His father would look back on this event with shame and anger for years to come. Christian's time at high school is still thought of fondly by him, recalling his sweet memories of creating artistic projects for class and frequently hanging out with his gal pals, all of which were abruptly ended with that gloomy, rainy graduation. But with the end of high school came the promise of a new world in college, a chance for new friends,
Oh, my admission
new
letter.
experiences, and the first steps to a brighter future.
Oh my god, it's over? Holy shit. Okay, wow. It's pretty depressing. Holy shit, like, locked in a room full of toys in the dark alone, and there he remains. Pretty sad. Be warned, this is the most innocent the story of Chris will ever get, yeah. Some poor cop is currently going through this to catch up with Chris's whole story. Poor soul doesn't know what's coming. It's pretty sad. Makes for easy investigation, though. Yeah, though, pretty long. A bunch of true crime fans are about to get a crash course in Christery. Yeah. 40 minutes? I already know all about Chris. Why am I here? Edit. I knew nothing. I hope you will not misuse, waste, or destroy the many things I've collected for you. This documentary has better foreshadowing than Attack on Titan and Steven Universe. I mean, Jesus. That middle school teacher gave some very good advice that he did not listen to. Yep, sounds about right. He went to prom and his date was his mom. Jesus Christ, if only he knew what the future had in store for us. I know. Oh, this fucking vein in my foot, it's like bulging. Damn it, I thought we learned our lesson the last time we criticized someone for their art skills. Damn, that's crazy. I'd like to believe Christian's lawyer is watching this documentary series for research right now. Oh my god. It's crazy to me how Chris talks more clearly as a teenager than he does currently as a 40-year-old man. He can barely form sentences without muttering or stammering nowadays. Probably because he was actually doing some socializing in high school. For the past 20 years, the only social interactions he's had have been over the internet with people who are almost never who they say they are, outside of the rare convention visit or GameStop trespassing. As shitty of a person as Chris is, can you imagine half of your entire life being spent never communicating with a real person? Like, it's just depressing, man. The Dreaming Studio was so sad to me. Like, Bob just wanted to build things with his son and even made a plaque for it, only for it to become a hoarding space and forgot memories to Chris as he descended into madness. Pretty sad. His mom turned it into a storage room. Ugh. It's clear to see that she took control of a lot of things in his life. That's so terrible. Man, I really do feel for Bob. Like, holy shit. He was not, like, much respected, was he? This video wildly swings from deeply depressing and disturbing details about Chris's life, and anecdotes that would be super sweet and wholesome until you remember that it's Chris Chan and this all ends horribly. I know. It's like reading Romeo and Juliet and then you come to the realization that they're going to die at the end. Yep, basically any Shakespeare novel. His dad is basically alternate universe Chris, where instead of sinking into delusions, he did something with his life. Yeah. There was a kid in my elementary school who got bullied into a psych ward and was held back a year. One of the main bullies got shot 4 years later. Oh, well. Karma's a bitch! I should have known better! Anyways. Alright, next one. This is 2000 to 2020, 2004.
What
Okay.
made him this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Chris Chan. In the year 2000, the Chandlers came back to their family home in Ruckersville, and in August, at the behest of his parents, Christian began attending Piedmont, Virginia Community College, where the highest level degree students could attain was an associate degree. Perhaps spellbound by illusions of grandeur, Chris chose to study marketing, but Bob quickly transferred him to a computer-aided drafting and design degree, in the hopes that it would be a better fit for his challenged son and his future. According to the PVCC handbook of the time, this was a 2-year degree, worth 15 credits. In addition, he took English classes and even a tennis class. Apart from study, he continued to develop his Pokemon website and added more cards to his wall of originals, creating cards representing, among others, his beloved Sonichu.
Oh shit.
In October, he launched
Sonichu?
Quick's Sonichu site, a website devoted to his original character. Over the course of the year, the Sonichu family grew. He created Sonny, Sonichu's pre-evolutionary form, and dedicated a trading card to him. He also gave Sonichu a female companion, Rosechu, based on Amy Rose from the Sonic franchise. After high school, contact with his gal pals was lost, apart from Kelly. He claimed to have called her every weekend for about a year. For Christmas of that year, Christian made her a CD entitled Songs for Kelly. As his gift, he incorporated a mini Sonichu into the artwork. Winter of 2000 is also significant, for that was when Chris created his Sonichu medallion, made of Crayola Model Magic and acrylic paints. Late 2000, I bought some Crayola Model Magic clay, and I molded and crafted the first original Sonichu medallion that I wore around my neck, with a makeshift chain, which I later replaced with a better necklace I bought from Pacific Sunwear at my mall. He would rarely be seen without it. The following year, he continued to develop the lore around Sonichu, which included creating an offspring for Rosechu called Rosie, and designing an Archie Comics cover for Sonic the Hedgehog vs. Sonichu. For his mother's 60th birthday, he made her a cake with Sonichu on it. In July, he filmed the City of Quickville tour, using the stop-motion feature on his Game Boy camera. The town in question was his yet unfinished Quickville made of Lego. He still hadn't settled on a naming system yet, so he spells it in 2 different ways. First with an I, then with an I and a K. The tour is led by a Lego incarnation of Christian, and he shows 2 landmarks of the town, the Water Tower and Go-Kart Pass, before the video abruptly ends, possibly due to the Game Boy camera only having the capacity to hold 30 frames at a time. In August, Christian got a job at Wendy's. He was mostly in charge of cleaning trays, tables, and carpet tile flooring, keeping the place neat and serving the customers with kind, understanding help. He alleges that he never quite saw eye to eye with his supervisor, who disagreed with Chris's way of operating. According to one supposed event, he got his uniform dirty, and despite it being likely that he could have swapped with a clean spare at the establishment, he proceeded to continue to work with his sullied attire, and even attempted to wash it in the bathroom sink. According to Christian, a female co-worker gave him a hard time, pelting him with criticisms and insults, perhaps mistaking her constructive criticisms for attacks against his person. He also admitted he took breaks frequently, neglecting other duties. Chris was fired from Wendy's in September or October 2001 for a number of possible reasons.
Okay, I do have
One
the
of the
correct
most popular
nature,
motives
so
for
I'm
his
gonna
dismissal was that he performed a Donald Duck impression to a child at the restaurant bringing him to
Oh, I already
tears.
started that. Okay.
In other accounts, he said that he was fired after he drew an unflattering caricature of an older female co-worker. His termination was likely a culmination of these events. It was also around this time that Chris ended his weekly calls to Kelly. He gave conflicting reasons for this. He first stated that he suffered from noviophobia, a term he coined, which he defines as a fear of speaking to a woman who may already be in a relationship, which convinced him that his calls were in vain. Initially, Chris stated that he was told by his mother that Kelly most likely already had a boyfriend, so he might as well quit his attempts. But later, he changed his story, saying that he came to that realization all by himself. In other retellings, he said that he simply forgot to call her one weekend, and after he broke the routine, he didn't want to continue. On February 24th, 2003, Christian spent a tearful 21st birthday. For some reason, he was kicked out of English class by his male and possibly gay professor. Like many historical accounts of his life, he keeps changing the story. First, he said that the class was reading the book Wednesday's Child, which featured an autistic girl. He recounted that he told the professor that he was autistic as well, which resulted in a misunderstanding and Chris being forced to leave the class. Alternatively, he admitted to causing a disruption in class, writing in a report, "Exclamations you'd likely hear from a black person in church," which prompted his dismissal from the classroom.
Yeah, no,
This
that's more
ejection further
understandable.
increased his hate for men and gay men in general, and further convinced him of launching a pursuit
And black
to
men
find
too,
true
probably?
love.
I'm kidding.
Order
That
to
is
meet
interesting.
whom he called a boyfriend-free girl, he launched his love quest. However, finding that one special person in his life wasn't going to be easy.
I can't imagine.
Christian didn't feel like he had the confidence to approach women on his own volition. Due to the infinitely high boyfriend factor, this term refers to the very high probability that any girl to whom he spoke already had a boyfriend, making it close to impossible to find his coveted boyfriend-free girl. By extension, every man who already had a girlfriend was thought of by Chris with seething loathing. With the infinitely high boyfriend factor, I'm not fond of about 99.99999999996% of the total male
why is that
population,
6?
with a margin of error of the 4 billionth% for about 100 men, of whom are okay acquaintances.
The 6 is very,
Those doofs get all the luck, having a sweetheart to
enrollment
care for
shopping
and
cart?
to be cared from,
Okay, I don't
getting
think-
all the hugs, kisses, and emotional support, and the security of a solid future without loneliness and with love and children. And besides that, my autism is not much help on the programming of my mind. Sigh. Oh, my life. To combat his reluctance to approach prospective females, he devised a way in which women would approach him instead. The attraction sign. Christian created what he called an attraction sign, which was much like a personals ad, but in public. 21 and single white male, shy, smart, young at heart,
There's the
computer
classes.
skilled, humorous, a great thinker and go-getter, natural salesperson, enjoys good parts of life, diplomatic, friendly,
Yeah, I'm not worried
loves
about
his
that.
family, peaceful, very creative, he's lonely. Seeking a cute 18 to 21 single female companion, 18 to 21 years of age, does not already have a boyfriend. Single, average to slender weight, body type, white, lives in Charlottesville or Ruckersville area, does not smoke or drink alcohol, happy, positive personality, average high income, drives a vehicle. If any men read this huge sign, mind your own business. And to all men with girlfriends, except marrieds and blacks, go jump off a cliff.
What the
Have
fuck?
a nice day. He would hang the sign up at the PVCC lobby and would stand or sit beside it in the hopes of attracting potential mates. Based on the attraction sign and later comments, it is clear that instead of finding the love of his life, his quest for a sweetheart was more of a quest to lose his virginity and to find a woman to mother him and financially support him. Just a couple of months into his love quest, Christian was met with an obstacle. Mary Lee Walsh, the Dean of Student Affairs, tore down his attraction sign and allegedly even tore it up in front of him. According to Chris, she yelled at him in a violent manner and said that his way of doing things would not
No.
get him a girlfriend. It is
Yeah.
likely that Walsh may have, in fact, taken down his sign.
Yeah, the way
and
he's
told
going
him
about
that it
things
was
is not very good.
inappropriate, as his methods were
Especially when it
akin to
comes to
soliciting
finding
sex
love.
on campus.
Oh,
In any
gross,
case,
yeah, no.
he was deeply disheartened by this event. It literally shattered my heart to almost nothing and murdered my soul. In response to this attack, Christian made another sign, which was quickly removed in a similar fashion. This was to be the beginning of Christian's make-believe conflict with Mary Lee Walsh that will haunt him for most of his adult life. As an act of catharsis, Christian wrote a poem called Saddest Heart in the World, in which he refers to Walsh in the most unkind of light. Lonesome and sad, lonesome and sad.
Wait.
The mastermind is very bad.
I thought my...
In efforts of getting a boyfriend-free gal, that female dog took my only idea for a fall. Heartbroken, sad and very lonely. I may never remove my virginity. On April 10th, Chris wrote a short story called Sonichu and Rosechu, the genesis of the Love Hogs.
The fuck?
It establishes the origins of Sonichu and Rosechu, and also incorporates elements from the Sonic the Hedgehog lore, such as the Chaos Emeralds. In addition, the story features a lovely Pokemon trainer. Her name was Kel, short for Kelly. He published it on his Sonichu site. In June, Christian found work as a salesperson for Cutco, a cutlery retailer. It is unknown whether he actually managed to sell any knives. Later testimonies prove that he was still in possession of unpurchased stock, holding onto some items more than a decade after he was employed. His tenure ended in August, when his boss left the Charlottesville area. In August, the newly formed band, Christian and the Hedgehog Boys, released their debut album. The band, which was led by Christian, and also featured Sonic, Sonichu, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Black Sonichu, in fact only existed in Christian's head. The album entirely consisted of Christian singing melody-free vocals with original lyrics over existing songs being played in the background. His songs covered a range of topics, such as his search for love in So Need a Cute Girl, based on I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
Tell me why I'm stuck as a virgin with
Real.
AUTISM, sung over the Backstreet Boys' Larger Than Life.
AUTISM, what does it mean?
And his Spanish skills in the Ricky Martin adaptation, La Cocina en la Casa de Casanova.
And he's still like saying it in this American accent. It's so funny.
Sonichu's Ode to Rosechu, an attempt at depicting the romantic ties binding Sonichu and Rosechu. Oh Rosechu, you are as beautiful as a rose, though a zapbud is the flower that heals your woes. He once again reinstates his idealized views on relationships between men and women. If I evolve into your knight, I will protect you with my lance. Speed makes no difference, though you are slower than I. You dance in a field with such grace and style. Sigh. The poem closes with possibly the first utterance of a variant of Christian's commonly used term, sweetheart. Rosie, as often as birds tweet, will you be my lovely heart sweet? In October of 2003, Christian reunited with his childhood friend, Sarah, for her birthday. For the special occasion, he made her a present, a hand-drawn comic book detailing the complete history of their life together, entitled Chris plus Sarah's Life Shares.
Okay.
It is from this work of literature that the majority of
I'm just gonna forget it's Chris Chan for a second.
has come to be known.
And be like, oh, that's nice.
Sarah's supposed childhood bullying, which then 21-year-old Chris completely neglects. Most of his creative attempts, it is self-centered, bragging about his accomplishments concerning Sonichu. He also talks about her personal life, including her relationship with her boyfriend. As of sometime before July 2000, Sarah has been living with her boyfriend, Wes Isley, a magician who does parties. He closes the book with hope for the future. A special note from Christian to Sarah. I hope that we can hang together sometime, but for now and forever, we will always be good friends. To return the sentiment, Sarah decided to spend Christmas with the Chandlers, which delighted Chris.
Nintendo.
On November 22nd, 2003, Christian filmed a documentary of his activities in the game Animal Crossing on the Nintendo GameCube, which he then sent to Nintendo for consideration. Chris narrates this hour-long tour of two of his self-made towns, Quickville and Quick City. Since the documentary features a video game player narrating his activities while playing a game, this possibly makes Chris the first ever Let's Player in the modern understanding of the word.
Hello, Nintendo.
Oh, no, that's fun.
Welcome to my Animal Crossing.
Ooh, Animal Crossing.
GameCube. I am your host.
I should probably get back into playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, because I have not played it in a while. Okay. I really need to get my island to, like, 5 stars now. Because it's, like, I think it's 3 stars right now. I'm not sure. Fuck, is that great? I think it's okay. I need to get into, like, decorating shit. Grinding for bells.
I is 21 years old. and I play because I'm young at heart.
Real.
So anyway, we're gonna
That's
take
so
a
real.
tour of my city.
Like everything he produces, it includes Sonichu.
So anyway, stepping out is my character, Sonichu.
Ooh.
He's wearing the clothes.
Oh,
with
that's
the character.
cute.
You might
It's
remember
kind of
his face.
cute, actually. Not gonna
And
lie.
there's his actual face. You remember the rest of his body, you see the whole picture.
Hey,
Chris
he's
performs
vibing.
a spontaneous rendition of Yellow is a Mellow Color off the Sonic and the Hedgehog Boys album.
Yellow is a mellow color. Yes, it is a mellow color. Sonichu's out.
I mean, it really hurts to know, because, like, this one here, it seems like Chris Chan is having fun with Animal Crossing here.
It's a lightning.
And, like, I kind of like the design of the room. I don't know.
He also treats the audience with a performance of So Need a Cute Girl.
Tell me why I'm stuck as a virgin with rage. Tell me why I so need a cute girl.
Well, maybe not that part. Maybe that part's not as wholesome, but, you know.
I never wanna hear you say I
Have a boyfriend. I freaking knew that was coming. I knew it. I knew that I have a boyfriend part was coming. I swear to God. Tell me why ain't nothing but a dumb shit. Where's my Switch? I want to keep playing Animal Crossing now. I don't know why. Oh fuck! Hit my mic.
My poop flush fell. Got him. Got him. Here he is.
I want your mother. Oh fuck! Damn it!
I can't find it.
Fucking hat's heavy, and it's like going below my forehead. Hold on. I totally forgot I had this fan here. What the fuck? It's on the floor the whole time I was there. Yeah, I was. Get out! Damn it! What the fuck? Let's charge this. Just so I can play Animal Crossing for a bit. So I'm bored. I want to keep going with the island. Shit. Alright. Since I've also been mostly playing Pokemon Violet on here, but I haven't used my Switch in a bit, so. Oh no, that's all I fucking know how to play. Shit. I get distracted, okay? I work for games.
Where's my games?
And the Animal Crossing thing, so I guess that's okay. Okay, whatever. That took way too long, just for it to be in here. Okay. I want a smoothie now. Shit.
Okay.
I have a boyfriend. What the fuck? Volko Zelensky. I know you ain't trying to. You're like, oh, I don't support genocide in Ukraine. But I support it in a country with brown people. You know, Palestine. Yeah, no, I support genocide against that motherfucker. What the fuck? Okay, I'm just gonna keep going.
And that was inspired by a real thing.
He previews the in-game diary that he keeps.
As for a monthly journal entry here
Damn.
in November, yeah, I tried to get a girlfriend because I don't have a girlfriend, but I have made up a poem. Let you guys read it. Alright? Scroll down a little bit as we go along.
Oh, it's on, yeah.
It's a very good poem because I am an artist as well as a poet. I make a rhyme every time.
He proceeds to give a tour of his bedroom.
This is my bedroom. It's a lot of fun, isn't it? Because I like to make things fun since you know I'm young at heart.
As he unwittingly transfers his hoarding habits into a virtual environment, his bedroom in Animal Crossing closely replicates his real-life counterpart. Chris goes outside and comes across several characters who all seem to run back indoors at the very sight of him.
Around here, I want to show you my favorite character that I kind of got to know it from the start. Oop, she just went in. There's Aunt Cootie. She just went in. And there's Elmer. He just went in.
He then travels to his house on Quickville Island to reveal that he mostly uses that property for extra storage.
I use mine as storage for the extra items I don't have room for
Okay.
at home.
Just gonna play Animal Crossing while I watch
He
this.
reasserts his brand loyalty for Nintendo and decries their competitors.
Gentlemen,
Captain.
Sonic Heroes should be Nintendo GameCube exclusive because Xbox and PlayStation 2, my opinion is the same as yours. They both stink. Yeah, I do not even own them. I don't even want them. That goes double for the PS1
That's,
as well.
you know, okay,
But
sure.
if you want to know my game systems, I had my GameCube for about almost a year and a half now. Got it on May 31st, 2002. I got your SNES, Nintendo 64, NES. I got the Genesis 301 with the original Genesis, 32X.
Okay, it's still loading with the palm tree
as well
here.
as Sega Dreamcast, and the Sega Saturn. So I got mostly all of them. I've been a Sonic fan forever, and that's why I'm glad that Sonic came to Nintendo.
He mentions that he likes to keep his surroundings clean by picking weeds.
Oh,
I think that's fun to do.
There's a weed. I pick weeds. Keeps my town clean as well as quick see.
You can sell your weeds as well. Well, I don't know. This is an older Animal Crossing, so I don't know.
I usually like to run. It keeps me going faster.
He introduces the viewers to his character, Crystal.
Anyway, this is Crystal. She's wearing the
very similar to your name.
There's a zap button on the door. I got a Rose Cheese mug right here.
Near the end,
Hi,
he
Isabel.
claims that he is high-functioning autistic.
And to answer the all-important question, what is the meaning of HFA? Red eye.
Hey, Summer Shells.
I will tell you. Got that? That means high-functionally autism because that's what I am. I'm high-functionally autistic. I may have autism, but since I'm high-functional, I can do a lot of things. I mean, otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this documentary I'm doing right now. But anyway, for the submission of Nintendo Power, this has been a documentary narrated by Christian Weston Chandler. Thank you very much, and I hope that you will consider this for a publication. Bye now.
Christian started 2004 with a New Year's resolution to find a girlfriend.
Your interest of 245 bells has been added to your account. Thank you.
A Sonichu comic strip, which also featured Rose Chew and Black Sonichu. This was the first time he included his characters in an illustrated storytelling setting on the 6th.
Oh yeah, I was getting bamboozled, wasn't I, huh?
The optometrist in question happened to be Dr. David Chandler, Chris's brother from Bob's first marriage, who informed him for the first time that he had an 8-year-old niece named Savannah. On January 18th, he wrote Hard Love Quest, a poem concerning his difficulties in finding a boyfriend-free girl.
Kill it.
Without girlfriend love, he feels in older age, as he is still stuck as a virgin with rage. He searched low and high to the end. The only delay is the fear of being already beaten by a boyfriend. On January 31st, Christian wrote in his diary, "Well, it's the end of another month, and I still don't have a girlfriend. Maybe my latest idea, the Sonichu's News Dash newsletter, will make the ladies take notice of me." The newsletter in question was an outlet for Christian's creative ideas concerning Sonichu and his poetry. Issue 1 featured a couple of skits starring Sonichu, the poem Saddest Heart in the World, and a personal ad for himself, which was not unlike his attraction sign. Christian is a very shy and very thoughtful person and will only accept person-to-person encounters. When getting his attention, approach and say hi to him. Do not flirt from a distance. He will not be able to notice. To find Christian,
damn it, Celia, come on.
The Sonichu medallion, in addition to posting a digital copy onto his website.
I'm trying to change my clothes.
Printed copies of the newsletter around PVCC campus as an alternative to his attraction sign. This must have caught the attention of Mary Lee Walsh, who issued a cease and desist order. In an email dated February 1st, Chris tried to settle out of court. "Mary, I've slept on it, and I've realized that note hanging is not the way to get attention. And I don't really want to meet with either you nor Susan. No offense. I'll tell you what, let's forget the meeting, and if you will allow my newsletter to stay in distribution, I will do all of the following. I will never hang notes on the wall again. I'll consider stopping my silent treatment on Susan. I'll consider knocking you and Susan up my scale of respect, each by 2
Wait, what?
points.
Oh, I was like,
0
excuse
equals
me?
no respect. 10 equals respect. Walsh replied, and insisted that they meet the following week. On February 9th, Christian recounted the events of that meeting. Mary Lee Walsh made it illegal to distribute the news dash. I am very angry at that XXXXX. In response, I plan to incite the masses
most likely you're going to be higher, so let's
demand
see.
the return
Yes!
of the news dash.
I got a Victorian dress, yes!
Getting a girlfriend
Thank you.
can be restored. I have also declared war on them as well.
Oh.
It was allegedly during this meeting where he performed his Curse Ye
Try that on.
Hameha attack, which consisted of Chris mimicking the hand motion of an attack move from the anime series Dragon Ball Z and cursing people into experiencing bad luck. However, it is not certain whether he was inspired by the original occurrence of the Kamehameha or its parody featured in another anime, Excel Saga, to which Chris has definitely been exposed. In March, Chris claimed that the kerfuffle concerning Walsh got his parents upset too. That XXXXX Mary Lee Walsh got on my and my parents' nerves. All I'd been doing was trying to get a girlfriend. Is that too much to ask? I am very devastated due to my shattered heart that XXXXX caused unto me. My life sucks. Completely disregarding her demands, he published issue 3 of Sonichu's News Dash, with most of the content themes remaining unaltered. However, his requirements for a boyfriend-free girl were tweaked a little bit. He was now looking for 18 to 22-year-olds, since he had just turned 22 himself.
Okay.
In May of 2004, Nintendo Power magazine published an article highlighting Christian's Animal Crossing video, referring to Chris only as Sonichu. Simply amazing. There's no other way to describe what we've received from Sonichu of Quickville. A full video documentary that walked us through his daily life. His opulent manor contained every manner of furniture. Quickville's landscape was filled to the bursting point with all the animals who'd moved to his well-tended town. And Sonichu has customized everything about his town. Even many villagers have followed his bold trends, wearing the patterns he has created. This apparently got the attention of PVCC's newspaper, The Forum, which featured Christian and Sonichu in an exclusive report. PVCC student Christian Chandler has dedicated many hours to his pastime.
Wow.
He is the creator of Sonichu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon. Like Sonic, Sonichu can run at high speeds. During Supersonic's battle against the perfect Chaos Monster, Sonic Adventure DX for GameCube, Supersonic was spat out by the monster and collided with a bystanding Pikachu, Chandler explained. According to this story, the power from the Chaos Emeralds transformed Pikachu into Sonichu. Chandler and the world he created for Sonichu were featured in the May 2004 issue of Nintendo Power. The place is called Quickville. The Quick prefix are his initials, Christian Weston Chandler. Nintendo Power was apparently impressed with Chandler's work. During all this rigmarole, he continued to publish his news dash, but he updated his personal contact information to include a link to his Match.com profile, which he created to aid in his love quest. It was also around this time that he opened a MySpace account. I enjoy drawing, listening to music, playing video games, and TCG. I also like anime, Legos, and I love my parents. I also enjoy web design. He proceeds to list all the gaming consoles in his possession, finishing with the Pokemon catchphrase, "Gotta catch 'em all." Interestingly, he listed his occupation as student/cartoonist. He explores his most desperate desires in his blurb. "I am a bit shy, but I would enjoy the company of a beautiful girl who likes some of the things I do. I also like to have fun when I can, and I don't really like to be alone. I graduated from high school on the honor roll, and I'm doing very well at PVCC. A lot of men make false promises to their girlfriends, but I am totally different. When it comes to what I can offer, I can seriously promise care, respect, empathy, and love. I think that most girls deserve the world, and I will do my best to give it to them." In May 2004, he attended the Anime Mid-Atlantic Convention for the first time, where he met notable voice actress Monica Rial. She also sings opera very nicely, and she is a very nice, fun, and sweet person to hang around with. She sure made my day a sweet one. In Sonichu's News Dash, Issue 5, he introduces 3 new Sonichu characters. Christian Sonichu, based on himself, Wesley Sonichu, his quote-unquote rival, who's based on Sarah Hammer's boyfriend, Wes Isley, and Sarah Hammer Rose Chu, obviously named after Sarah herself.
Okay.
In June, to celebrate the 24-year wedding anniversary of his parents, Chris made them a present, a dramatic retelling of the family's life via Animal Crossing.
Oh, wow.
Through this videographic endeavor, he delves deep into the family's history.
Hi, Mom and Dad. How are you doing? This is my little present for y'all. A little documentary for y'all. Here in Animal Crossing for Nintendo GameCube. About how y'all were and how you are now and so forth. So, take a trip back in time with me, won't you? As we explore how each of you were. Of course, first we'll travel back in time to the time of good old Robert Franklin Chandler Jr. He was a hip youngster back in his day. Take a look inside his chateau and see what describes him as him. He collects records, and he's got lots of them. He's got so many shelves. He likes caramel record case.
Chris reveals that Bob has Cherokee ancestry.
He was born in Cherokee in Texas. Actually, he was like 1/16 Cherokee, but that's why we have this totem pole.
Yeah, 1/16. Dude, white people really love emphasizing their, like, very tiny part of Native American, I swear to God. I feel like that's just a huge white American thing to really, like... Damn it!
He performs the same type of tour for Barbara.
But she went to school, and she worked hard. And see these shirt here, that's her school colors, blue and white, because back in high school, she was a cheerleader. Bum bum, fist boom ba, yay yay, la la la. Oh yeah, she likes the get old stuff as well, so she's got a little and we got a kitchen, fridge, and a stove. Here's a little fan to keep cool with. Keep food in this little pantry. And she keeps her brooms and mops in the old closet here. Although somebody brought the mop, somebody wanted to clean up. You put your garbage in the garbage can. And this is that part. And it get in some places, you know, in very few houses nowadays, but what happened in the old days, the bathroom was in the same room as the kitchen. But luckily, we always remembered to wash our hands with soap and water. Anyway, that's just in the days of old. Nowadays, she does have a private bath.
Chris explains how his parents first met.
They met over at Maddie's pub, see? Yeah. Mom was just sitting down with her friend. She was watching Bobby sing up here, and well, she really liked his singing. So as father put, she went up to him, and then as he passed by, changed the thermostat. Yeah. Anyway, she chased him down the hallway, and cornered him, and then after that, they just talked. So they just talked things out, and
the hell, I got a twangoid.
Bob, do you take this woman to be your lovely wed wife, to love and hold and cherish and to honor? I do. You, Barbara, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to love and cherish and to honor forever?
I do.
I now pronounce you man and wife, you may kiss the bride. Whee!
Yay!
After reenacting their wedding, Christian introduces himself into the picture.
But anyway, when first comes love, then comes marriage, then they come along with their baby carriage. And that's right.
Bamboo speaker?
Born in February 1982 was me.
He gives himself a tour of his own room.
So anyway, this is my bedroom.
And then returns to Bob's room.
As a little retribution for how things were, we're going to play a little number on the jukebox here. But since we don't have side-by-side on recording, we're going to play Sitting Under the Apple Tree.
He proceeds to let the 1942 song Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree play in full.
And there you have it, nice little blast from the past. And now for my mom and dad, something special for this video. This is my way of saying happy anniversary to y'all. Coming up next.
The video cuts to a drawing made with Mario paint, which says, "To Mom and Dad,
Mario
happy
paint?
anniversary.
Well, that's a lot of
Thank you
weeds
both
I
for my
grew over
birth.
here.
Love, Christian C."
Just a fucking grasshopper, god dang it.
In July, Chris began going to the Charlottesville Fashion Square, attraction sign in hand, to seek out fellow mates.
Of course.
Evidently, his current practice did not yield promising results, as in a diary entry dated August 1st, he announced, "Well, it's another month. Still no girlfriend. But I have a new idea that I am sure will reel in a girlfriend on a fateful red string." The idea concerning red string consisted of Christian tying a red string to a paper heart, on which "Pick me up and bring me to my owner" was written. The significance of using a red string was most likely a reference to its appearance in the anime Excel Saga, and is a well-known symbol in many Asian cultures. Christian would throw the heart at prospective partners and hope that they would pick up the heart and follow the red string leading back to him. It cannot be determined how successful this strategy could have been, because just 4 days after he employed the red string of fate, a mall security guard, which Chris referred to as a jerk-op, put an end to it.
That sounds wrong. Sorry.
In August, Chris shifted focus away from Pokemon and centered his attention on Yu-Gi-Oh!, a similarly themed card game. He began making his own custom cards and attended his first Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament at the game place, where he met Megan Schroeder. Over the months of getting to know Megan,
she
I
seems
grew
not
fond
too
of
impressed
her.
with you.
Although at that time, and up to now, she wasn't interested in a lovely relationship. I've bided to her wishes and requests.
Oh, wasp
I am
nest.
truly
Forgot I
fond
shipped
of
that
her.
out.
Since he and Megan had Yu-Gi-Oh! As a common interest, Christian only intensified his obsession with the game, creating more and more custom Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, with one depicting Crystal, Christian's make-believe female twin. He also designed a girlfriend's gift card, on which the illustrated girlfriend looks suspiciously like the sister.
I don't like that. That's weird. Has he always been this
Christian reflected
incestuous?
on his
Shit.
love quest so far. While I was at the mall for the 8th week today, I realized something. Since I have been using a sign to state my being single and lonesome towards an 18 to 22-year-old boyfriend-free woman, I, in the event, was trying to sell myself like a new car. 2 days later, Chris's love quest was interrupted by a jerk-op. I told that jerk-op off when I pulled some of my fun cards and told my lonesome virgin story, intimidated him, and shouted no into his face. In short, today was my Independence Day, but I am still alone. On September 11th, his search for love took a turn for the worst. I was not bothering anyone at the mall today while I was trying to sell myself when I got arrested for trying. I fortunately did not go to jail, but I have been stripped of my right to go to the mall by myself. I would be required to bring my mom or dad with me. My independence and my soul were practically murdered. Chris's run of misfortune climaxed when only 5 days later, the school board of PVCC suspended him for 1 year.
God.
My dad is bloodthirsty for revenge as well. He's going to write to U.S. President George W. Bush Jr. and Laura Bush to help me get allowed back to PVCC.
Okay, what is the president actually going to do?
Mary Lee Walsh.
About Mary Lee Walsh.
In conjunction with his suspension, he was required to take anger management classes, get a psychological evaluation, and receive social skills counseling. 10 days after the event, he lamented over his inability to go to PVCC or the mall, and confessed that he would be asking for a girlfriend this Christmas. Despite his bans from the college and the fashion square, he decided to continue with his search for a boyfriend-free girl, but relocated to the University of Virginia's campus to do so. However, this move wasn't for long, as Christian was allowed back to the fashion square in November. Regardless, he went back to UVA for a different kind of engagement, in the form of a mandatory psychiatric evaluation. There are more of such documented examinations in existence, but this is the only one so far which has been made public. Mr. Chandler says that since finishing high school and starting at PVCC in the year 2000, he has had an increasing interest in a female companion. His attempts at this ultimately led to his suspension from college. His attempts took the form of a sign,
I think it's like the
which he
way
placed
he's doing
next
it.
to
I think it's
himself
just really
while
bad.
sitting in the lobby at Piedmont. This
I would
sign was
see
a
it.
list of qualifications that a potential girlfriend would have. He said that he has been very frustrated by his inability to find a girlfriend, and he suffers from noviophobia. This
Is that-
refers
oh,
to his
shit.
frustration that
Sorry.
females often tell him that they already have a boyfriend. While he does have physical attraction towards females, his primary frustration is with his lack of companionship. The report mentions his medical record and earlier
I got
evaluations.
coins. Bells.
He has already undergone psychological evaluation by Robin Hawks at the Center of Learning Potential. The recommendation concerning Mr. Chandler's emotional status is that he seek psychiatric and psychological treatment. The psychologist felt that counseling and medication would possibly address his obsessive thought pattern and assist him with social skills. She also recommended anger management training. The analysis also comments on Christian's appearance and demeanor in the session. The patient is a mildly overweight white male, wearing blue jeans and a shirt. He was also wearing a makeshift necklace that has a large plastic medallion in the shape of a Pokemon character's head. He also
Pokemon,
had
yep.
a number of Shrinky Dink decorations attached to this necklace. He had a large backpack that he carried with him, and had a notebook containing a large number of drawings. His speech was somewhat nasal, with frequent awkward laughing during his sentences. His speech was fluent. His responses were appropriate to the questions posed to him.
Hey.
Overall, the volume of his speech was slightly elevated. Although his tone was generally pleasant and almost jovial, his thought processes were linear and logical. He was somewhat concrete, especially regarding social interactions. He seemed to have a good insight into his limitations. The attending physician offers up his final verdict. Folstein's score was 30 out of 30, with his sentence being, "Uncle Spunky is a really funky monkey." Mr. Chandler is a 22-year-old man with a history of developmental delays and autism. Despite these limitations, he seems to have been quite successful in maximizing his academic abilities. He is left, however, with a severe degree of social awkwardness and seems to have good insight into this. He is left feeling somewhat frustrated as he has a strong desire for companionship, although his social limitations prevent him from being able to realize this in the way which he would like. The patient doesn't seem to pose a significant threat to himself or anyone else. After the evaluation, Chris carried on with life, much like before, with neither him nor his parents making any significant effort to change his ways. But Christmas was soon approaching, and maybe Santa would bring him a girlfriend like he wished, who could right all his wrongs and change his life for the better.
I'll sell all this stuff. Alright, that's it for second one. Let's see the comments. Oh my god. On September 11th, his search for love took a turn for the worse is the most ominous statement ever made. I know, what the hell. He typed whole ass entries with a GameCube controller. Yeah, really. I wonder if girls frequently told Chris, "I already have a boyfriend," as a way to softly reject him. Probably. This recurring lie confounding Chris, it seeming as no girls were single. I know, maybe they were just lying. The Animal Crossing characters all going inside when you see Christian is fucking hilarious to me. Oh my god. You know that you're doomed as a person if even a bunch of pixels on the screen can't even stand the sight of you being there. I know, that's gonna suck, man. It's downright weird how many appearances and mentions in public programs Chris got. It's insane. I know. Imagine being one of his gal pals from his high school, wondering what he's up to one day, and then coming across this documentary. I'd be horrified. Like I really did not want to know his whole fucking life like that, but shit. Christian singing melody-free vocals. This is the most savage documentary. I know, I was like, melody-free, huh? Basically saying he has no rhythm is what you're saying. Okay, damn. Sometimes I feel bad for Chris, then I remember he deserves it. Then I feel bad again. Then I remember he deserves it again. Roller coaster of emotions, Jesus. The Animal Crossing parent documentary thing was honestly pretty sweet of him. I know, I thought that was cute, actually. It's not necessarily a perfect gift, but he put genuine time into constructing each house/display. If I had an autistic kid, or even just any sort of child, I'd be delighted for a gift like that. I know, that was actually one of the best things he's done. Honestly, I thought that was sweet. Honestly, he would make, like, national headlines if he did that today, but he's made headlines for different reasons today. I'm just saying. To this day, I still think he performed the Donald Duck impression of a child at the restaurant, bringing him to tears is the best thing ever spoken by a human being. I mean, jeez. I like plotistic, though. Your optometrist being your estranged half-brother from your dad's first marriage feels like the plotline of a TV show. It just feels weird. Loses virginity, and to find a woman to mother him and financially support him. Oh, God. Yeah, it just felt like foreshadowing. I feel like he's just had these feelings about his mother this whole time. I don't know, judging by all these, like, clues. Hello.
Hello?
Hi. I'm watching Chris Chan documentaries.
Is your refrigerator running?
No, it's handicaps.
Gotcha.
Oh, bro, what? Bro, what? He just called me to say, is your refrigerator running? Oh, God. The math that went into the 99.999999996 is hilarious. 100 out of a billion of men are worthy of being Chris's friend. I gotta see the villagers run. He just went in. Joel just fucking prank called me. That was funny. He just went in, you know? Alright, part 3, let's go. I will still have time for this. Oh my god, 2 hours? Fuck, dude. Okay, this is just the intro again. Dang. This feels like a Netflix series, and I love it.
Hello. My name is Christian Chandler. Age 22 at this time. I will be 23 on February 24th, 2005. Anyway, for over a year now, I've been trying to attract an 18 to 22-year-old boyfriend-free girl, 18 to 21 before February 24th, 2004, which is this year. Anywho, been trying for over a year to attract a girl, boyfriend-free girl, and I have failed.
Yeah, I feel like they're just lying at this point, like, just to say, hey, I don't want to be with you. I think that really is what it is, like, they're, because I've done that same thing, like, hey, I'm gay. Like, there were 2 boys, you know, the fucking, probably will peak in high school. This was in middle school, okay? 2 douchebag boys, of course. And they were like, hey, he wants your number. And I'm like, bro, I'm gay. And they're like, can I still have your number? Like, fuck you. God, I hate those boys. But no, I don't think I was lying about the gay part. I was just like, hey, I'm gay. Please leave me alone. But yeah, a lot of these women actually like make up lies just to not be with someone they don't want to be. But like half the time I feel like it's because they've been asked like the million fucking times by the same person. Who knows?
You can't help but feel sad, you know? I'm depressed. And here it is about Christmas time. And, well, all I want for Christmas is a boyfriend-free girl.
Chris prepares for Christmas 2004 by singing 2 of his songs for the camera. He performs So Need a Cute Girl,
Tell me why I so need a cute girl my age.
followed by All I Want for Christmas is a Pretty Girlfriend.
All I want for Christmas is a girlfriend. Oh, she has to be 18 to 22. Well, at this time of year, all I can say right now is that I hope Santa will comply with my request and bring me a pretty girlfriend. And so, happy holidays from me, Christian Chandler. By the way, you can call me Chris in public. And thank you.
Christian whipped his camera out for Christmas Day too, and documented the state of the house at that time.
Christmas.
So it's Christmas Day, and all through the house, the creatures that were stirring were my family and me and our 2 cats. And we wander upon our wondrous Christmas tree with a star that was made so delicately.
The star on top of the tree is in fact
it was my axe that broke.
Chris reveals that his dreams were dashed that day.
And a Christmas present that was supposed to be for the girlfriend that Santa brought. But unfortunately, she didn't show.
Chris introduces his audience to his parents.
And now we wander in on my family. Say hello, Father. Yeah. Making our Christmas movie. I see, you're wasting your chip. Well, I'm gonna play on to VHS anyway. Alright. A smaller Christmas tree down here, and our mothers sleep here in the dark area.
A light stick?
Would you care to share a Merry Christmas with the world, Father?
The tour puts a spotlight on the extent of the hoarding situation in the house, as Chris visibly has trouble navigating through the hoard.
Care to say something to the entire world? Merry Christmas. Yep.
After the tour, Chris documents the gift exchange, revealing the interpersonal dynamics of the family.
Okay, yeah, it's recording. So, here we are around the Christmas tree. We're gonna open presents. Right.
Chris presents Bob with a card.
Am I supposed to read it? Yes, read it. Am I supposed to read it out loud? Yeah. Read to Mom.
I want to thank you all for your support and love throughout my fantastic love quest. And if Santa doesn't bring me one, no Chris, no Tommy. Like I asked you, and then I'm going to need some support finding a boyfriend free. It'll come, Christian. Hope you all like my present.
Okay.
Today I'm thinking of Christmas and remembering you all. Merry Christmas, Christian C.
Yep.
Christian gives Bob the option of receiving the puppet TV show Fraggle Rock on DVD or on VHS. After Christian discreetly implies that he wants to keep the DVD for himself, Bob caves in and chooses to take the VHS.
Yes.
So you want the VHS?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not much for the other.
DVD. Why do we have it on both? I gave him a choice, remember? You remember the original white DVD? It's Fraggle Rock, Father. That's what's on there.
I see.
Everything that's on the DVD is on that VHS.
VHS worked better than my system.
Yeah.
Chris presents Barbara with a Lego set.
Snowboarding stuff.
He gives her a plush doll of the Japanese character Hamtaro.
I got you Hamtaro. That's cute. Yeah. It's a Hamtaro. It's a little hamster. He's a little bitty hamster.
Hamster.
The family discuss the possibility of a surprise visit from Sarah.
Oh, that's my present for Sarah. Because, you know, she might come over. Well, she did last year, remember?
Chris attempts at an embrace with his mother, but ends up hurting her instead.
Here, oops, I'm sorry. Don't hurt my head. I'm sorry.
He does it again.
2 boxes together here. I'm sorry.
Chris gives Barb another present. A snow globe with him in it.
Snow globe. With me in it. Merry Christmas, Robert. It's also got Sancho in it. Look. See? Me on one side, Sancho on the other. That's cool. I got it over at Walmart, the snow globe.
How about that?
Cool? Yeah, that's neat. Merry Christmas. Yep, Merry Christmas. And then we'll go back downstairs where it's warm.
Snappy New Year.
Yeah. Snappy New Year, huh?
Oh, finally! Yep, something that's not part of a...
After the gift unwrapping, Christian went back to his room to record a video recapping the events.
Well, now this ends our
Which one is
family
it?
Christmas of 2004.
Apache School?
I think it's a nice gift, but it does not compare to having a boyfriend-free girl like it make it to a girlfriend.
The Pachycephalosaurus is completed.
Hoping for her to come, but she didn't. My lifelong friend, Sarah Hammer. You know, if she had not been paired up with that jerk Wes Isley, I could have it. But seriously, though, I wish she was here so that I could talk to her and so she could help me in my quest to get a boyfriend-free 18 to 22-year-old girl. 18 to 23 as of February 24th, 2005. Well, anyway, that pretty much sums up my Christmas season for this year. So, as they say in showbiz, goodbye, folks.
As he enters
Hey, KK Slider's here.
Christian continued his tried-and-true tradition of pacing around the mall, hoping to attract a boyfriend-free girl. His activities quickly caught the eye of Anna McLaren, an employee of Pack & Son at Charlottesville Fashion Square, who described her encounter with him in a blog post titled, "The Tale of the Crazy Pacer." There was a guy who paced in front of Abercrombie & Fitch. He'd come and do it for hours on end, just walking back and forth. He was an okay-looking guy, not evil-looking like creepy molester dude, so he would pace for his allotted time, then leave.
Who?
Sometimes, as he paced, he would sing or shout. Nobody really could
more
ever
weeds.
tell what he was saying. Oh yeah, and he always wore the same shirt. A nice little long-sleeved red and blue number that had a gold crest on the left side, and white collar and cuffs. Then, one day, he decided to start pacing on the PacSun side, so he started pacing in front of our store. We were doing floor set, and Lin noticed that crazy pacer kept looking into PacSun as he paced. And this day, he was acting particularly crazy. He'd pace and pace, then stop and shout something at the wall, then keep pacing. And he also did some singing, even getting into the vibrato falsetto junks. It was hilarious. So anyways, someone, I can't remember who,
Vibrato falsetto.
suggested that the next time he looked in, we wave at him. So they waved, and Christian waved back. After some waving back and forth, Christian took the initiative and entered the store. He came right up to the counter that I was standing behind, and he looks right at me, all fidgety and twitchy, and he goes, "You look to be about 19 years old, right?" He then proceeded to introduce himself. "My name is Christian," he said, "but you can call me Chris. I'm Christian W. Chandler." "Oh," I said. "Hi, Chris." "So," he continued, "do angels have names?" I found out later that he meant to say, "Do angels like you have names?" Poor guy was so nervous, he didn't get it right. Anna introduces herself, then Chris talks about eyes. "My eyes are two different colors. One of them is green and the other is blue. That's because I had pink eye a while back, and one of them stayed that way. What color are your eyes?" I was pretty grossed out by the pink eye story, but I told him anyway. Sometimes blue, sometimes green, and usually gray. "Oh, that's neat. It's funny how that happens, isn't it?" "Yeah," I said. He attempts to ask her out, but Anna declines. He eventually settles on the internet as a forum for future communication between them. Christian came back and handed me a card with a crudely drawn Sonic the Hedgehog and some other yellow Sonic-looking creature on it, along with Christian's name, email address, and website.
Damn, the whole thing?
It was a homemade business card. "That's my email address, and you can just email me sometime, okay?" "Okay," I said, not intending to email him at all. Little did either of them know, but this was the start of a friendship. But for the time being, Chris's contact with Anna was sparse. In February, Cartoon Network's Adult Swim block held a contest which asked viewers to make their own commercial advertising the release of the cartoon series Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, Volume 1 DVD set.
Interesting.
Christian sent in his own unique take, in which he mentions his ongoing feud with Mary Lee Walsh.
Hello, I hired Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, to help me, Christian Weston Chandler, in my case against Mary Lee Walsh, who years ago shared my heart. And he has won the case for me, and he has won for me a Harvey Birdman 2-disc DVD box set, which comes out April 12, 2005.
He finishes with a brief promotion of his custom cards depicting himself and Sonichu.
This is a Christian Chandler Sonichu production.
Regrettably, the winning entry did not feature Chris. In response, he vented his frustration at losing on the Adult Swim message board.
Oh my god, dude!
"My entry was very dramatic, and a lot better than that piece of poo, or any of the others that made the top 5
Oh
as
no,
well.
man.
I'm very upset about that. My Quick's Harvey Birdman spot was the best, and I feel sorry for you, Adult Swim, for not noticing
Jesus.
that. You all
Need
should
more
take
discipline,
another good
brother.
look at it, and seriously reconsider." In March, Christian published Sonichu, Issue 0, his first full-length comic. The issue is further divided into episodes, much like a television show, with a different story in each one. Episode 1 begins in an open field 5 miles from the city of Station Square, in which a wild Pikachu observes fighting in the distance between Supersonic and the perfect Chaos Monster. Pikachu gets caught in the scuffle and collides with Sonic, the impact releasing a rainbow which lands on a girl Raichu 15 miles away, who then transforms into a hedgehog-like creature and calls herself Rosechu. Meanwhile, the Pikachu somehow inherited Supersonic's powers and changed form, and joins Sonic in the battle, defeating the perfect Chaos Monster. He christens himself Sonichu. Christian himself interjects here and there, draws himself having one blue and one green eye, as he had told Anna. His eyes are in fact different colors, but the difference is nowhere near as profound as in his illustrations. He then proceeds to introduce Quickville, and reveals that he is also the mayor of said town. He then goes on to introduce all the main characters of the story, including Mary Lee Walsh. He saves himself for last,
He hates that woman.
and devotes a full page to talk about Christian Weston Chandler. The next episode concerns Sonichu and Rosechu meeting and quickly falling in love. sharing a kiss underneath a spray of fireworks. In episode 3, Sonichu confesses that he has a dislike for pickles, as does Christian in real life.
What?
This is followed
You
by
won't
the
like
introduction
Disneyland
of the
then, they
evil
have a lot of
foe,
pickles.
Natesurk, whose name is simply Christian, backwards. After the battle is won, Mayor Chandler drives off in his car, carrying the Virginia vanity plate, Sonichu, identical to the one on his real-life car. It should be noted that Sonichu refers to Chris as his father, even though his creation has nothing to do with Christian. The comic ends with a sub-episode starring
Interesting.
Chris in a story based on his run-in with the mall police. However, in this version, he clutches his medallion, says Electric Hedgehog Power, and transforms into Chris Chan Sonichu, who largely looks like a blue-colored Sonichu, making him look like the original Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that's just Sonic,
the
bro.
Jerk-Off equips metal armor. Needless to say, Chris defeats him by cursing him into experiencing horrendous bad luck by using his Curse Yehameha attack. Towards the end of March, Hannah, who worked at Starbucks in the Fashion Square, approached Christian during his near-daily pacing and asked him out on a date. After she left, I became very excited and oh my god all over. After calling mom and eating me nuggets, I lifted the chair with such cheer and grace and spun around with it like a dancer. Then I put it back where it was. I felt that my love quest had finally come to an end. And I so elated that my shattered heart had a full, fast recovery. I went to Starbucks and we talked about basic things. I showed her my Sonichu scrapbook. She was very impressed.
Okay.
I gave her my email and both my phone numbers on a Sonichu site card, and she gave me her email address. I was very attentive as I took notes about her and maintained eye contact. As I left her,
Oh, wow.
I gave her a double-take flirt. That was the rise. Now here comes the fall. As I was sitting
Alright,
at
let
my
me find-
spot, thinking about future steps for later dates, Anna and Dana told me they went to talk to Hannah. She told them that she was setting me up in a prank. I could not believe it, so I found and asked Hannah. Sadly, it was true. Then in major shock, my heart shattered again by 85%, and I let out a big no. His outburst of negation resulted in Chris getting banned from the mall again. He devoted the second sub-episode to this misadventure. Not long after, he completed his second Sonichu comic, Sonichu Issue 1. Pokemon's Giovanni teams up with Sonic villain Dr.
Giovanni?
Robotnik to create their own Sonichu in order to defeat the real thing. Unfortunately, a blunder causes Sonichu's DNA sample to get corrupted with cherry cola, producing an imperfect replica of our hero, called Black Sonichu, also known as Blotchu.
What
Blotchu
the
captures
fuck?
Rosechu, so Sonichu and Sonic team up to rescue her. After combating Blotchu and the new Metal Sonichu, they eventually save Rosechu. The style of the comic became more text-heavy, with some conversations so convoluted that Chris numbered the lines in the order that they should be read. The following month, Chris's review for Sprung, a dating simulation game for Nintendo DS, was published in Nintendo Power.
Nice.
I originally bought the game because I needed some lessons on what to say to, or do for, a girl. To make a long story short, I developed a fear that all the pretty girls are already paired up with a boyfriend. I've dubbed this social phobia noiophobia, after the Spanish word for boyfriend. Anyway, before Sprung, I was afraid to approach most women. FYI, I am 22 years old. I tried to silently attract a boyfriend-free girl, mostly with signs, for over 1 year and 4 months. Then Sprung provided me with general things to say and do, so I felt more confident. When I tried my newfound expressions from the dating simulator, I forgot my fear of the infinitely high boyfriend factor, and I met a couple of lady friends, with whom I feel more comfortable. So thank you Nintendo and Ubisoft for the dating advice that this frustrated virgin needed. Christian C. On April 13th, a University of Virginia student wrote a blog post that included her observations of Christian, whom she renamed Sonichu, hanging around the Alderman Library. So Sonichu returned to Alderman today. I'm not sure what to make of him. He sits in his chair and draws his Sonichu comics.
Okay.
Harmless, I ask me, yet I feel like
Pretty
he
soon.
knows he's different. He knows that the world rushing in front of him is not his own, surrounded by the brightest students in America, whatever that means. He sits in his chair and draws, 23 years old. I'm not sure he even graduated high school. In front of him, text of Plato, Faulkner, God, and Kleist's swirl. Does he have the capacity to understand these works? Whether he can or not, I am not sure. But there is something in his eyes that realizes that there is a level of understanding and thought that he is unable to partake in. As he slumps lower and lower in his chair, with each student he eyes reading or holding a book, he falls into himself. into the markers and colors on the page in front of him. He seems intelligent enough to understand that he does not understand, and that is the hardest part of all. In early May, Chris released Sonichu Issue 2. This marks a turning point in the comic as the story begins to focus on Christian rather than Sonichu. Episode 7 concerns the Ancient Prophecy. When Sonic explains the mysterious prophecy to Christian, Chris reaffirms that he is the creator and father of Sonichu. They enter the Destiny Cave and unknowingly release an ancient evil power. Chris also meets an ancient leader of the Cherokee clan, who reveals that Chris is his reincarnation.
What the
He
fuck?
is told that he has to unleash ancient powers to defeat the evil by using his Sonichu medallion to transform into Chris Chan Sonichu. The story ends in a cliffhanger, with Sarah Hammer and Wes Isley getting possessed by mysterious forces. Between episodes 7 and 8, Chris inserts an advertisement for Axe body spray, in which, ignorant of the societal norms of hygiene, unknowingly confesses that he believes that bathing makes people smell exceptionally nice, to the point that people would compliment you, and that using Axe body spray is just as effective as
fucking
bathing.
course.
Episode 8 continues with Wes meeting his past self, who is a member of the Wasabi clan, and turns into Wesley Sonichu and vows to kill Chris. Sarah also sees a vision and meets the queen of the Cherokee clan and transforms into Sarama Rosechu. Meanwhile, Chris Chan Sonichu accidentally transforms back into his human self, leaving him vulnerable to attack from Wesley Sonichu, who turns himself into a ball and goes for a flying attack, prompting this exchange from the protagonists. What the? Sonichu, run! You don't have to tell me twice, but during the Stone Age. Chris figures out that his attacker is Wes Isley and confesses how jealous he is.
How does
of
that
him
even
for
mean,
being with
bro?
Sarah, who is eavesdropping nearby. Wesley reveals that he only wants to steal the Cherokean crown. Chris changes into Chris Chan and fights Wesley Sonichu, who eventually knocks Chris out and steals the crown, which inexplicably just came into being. Before Wesley can finish him off, Sarama intervenes and fires a lightning bolt arrow at Wesley, pinning him to an unsacred tree. In the final episode, Sarah breaks up with Wes, who cries out no while shrugging. They learn that Quickville, which is a vibrant community with happy people, cool chicks, business, and a frustrated male, is under attack from a giant stone golem, which is under the control of Mary Lee Walsh and a mysterious talking orb.
Jesus
So Christian,
Christ.
Sarama, and Wesley fly over there to fight them. The orb reveals itself as the ancient evil and announces that he is Count Graduan, who is a personification symbolizing the pain and sadness of Christian graduating from high school. The three heroes beat them off for a little while, but Walsh and Graduan escape, vowing to fight another day. In the epilogue, Christian and Sarah chat on the couch, and unfortunately for Chris, she reveals that she has found herself another boyfriend named William, and thanks Chris for being a great friend. Christian dedicates an entire page to Sarah Hammer, his lifelong friend, and offers some highlights of their time together. Currently, I don't get to see he as much as I did, because she found herself a boyfriend while I was in Richmond. But I often wonder how she is, and if she is happy with him. I share my troubles with her in my illustrations, letters, and over the phone. I always appreciate the little moments I have with her. The final page is a call to action for all Sonichu fans, in which Chris expresses his wish to have Sonichu produced into a bona fide franchise by Nintendo America. The comic concludes with Sub-Episode 3, which is a dramatic reimagining of Chris's conflict with Mary Lee Walsh, who is the head of the private villa of corrupted citizens, the base of operations for the villains in the Sonichu universe, the name of which is derived from the acronym of Piedmont Virginia Community College. With Sonichu Issue 2, Christian comes closer to blurring the line between real life and his comic book world, creating his own reality. In Sonichu's News Dash Issue 9, Chris announced that he will attend the Anime Mid-Atlantic Convention in Richmond, Virginia on all 3 days. Since he has put himself into Sonichu's world, he will cosplay as himself. Talk about self-respect, huh? Also, he will be watching some of the good anime, getting some souvenirs, participating in some of the events, and just having a good time. Also, he will have some printed copies of Sonichu Premiere Issue 0 on hand, but if you want a collectible copy, you will have to find him and ask for one. He stayed 2 nights alone in a hotel room, and during the convention, he handed out copies of Sonichu Issue 0 to unsuspecting attendees.
Okay.
On June 22nd, Christian recounted the events of the past 2 days. I had my setup at the McDonald's at Walmart, and apparently complaints were made. The 2 manager jerks, a Seymour
What the
comic,
fuck?
and a black fat jerk, He looked a lot like the leader of the jerk cops at the mall, whom I refer to now as the jerk Keef, approached me and took me for a fall with my trying to find a boyfriend-free girl. Like I have been doing for the past over 1 year and 10 months, we argued and disputed, until the two of them left to call the police. While they were gone, I had taken off the sign from my Nintendo DS and hidden it on the back cover of my diary. When the jerk cops came, they were all like, "What seems to be the problem?" And the married Saynor comic was like, "Where's the sign?" And I was, "What sign?" And another argument was had between the four of us, in which I never gave any of those jerks eye contact, because none of them deserved it. So, I got kicked out from the McDonald's, not the Walmart, for the rest of the day.
What the fuck? What?
Now for what happened today. I was starting to set up my things, and the B manager was getting in my face. I feel that he really hates me, and he was like, "Don't set up your stuff. Don't push me." I was not going to use the Nintendo DS sign today anyway, but he did not want my pixel block sculptures at all. I stood up against that manager, I continued to build, and I dictated my situation into his face with a song and dance. He went up to the Walmart manager, and he was like, "Hey, let's talk." But I sat silent for a minute. Then I said to him, "I do not speak to any man other than myself, because they all have taken all the pretty girls, leaving me with none." Verbal combat had started, and during the fight, I ran off, still giving verbal punishment, as well as the finger, and many cursier homie-haws. I nearly backed up onto him with my car, and I gave him another finger. Then I dashed off. Now, I feel sad, because I've nowhere else to go to attract a boyfriend-free girl, and I feel very furious with those managers and all men other than myself and my father. Chris began believing that there was a conspiracy involving all the men in his town.
I'm surprised he didn't have an Oedipus complex back
against
then.
me in finding a girlfriend of my own, but I will not give up on my long and tedious love quest. I'll find a new attraction spot. Somewhere in Charlottesville, Virginia, there has to be at least one 18 to 23-year-old boyfriend-free, caring, smoke-free, non-alcoholic, white girl out there somewhere. Chris dramatized this entire ordeal in sub-episodes 4 and 5, but his adaptation also featured the manifestation of his dream sibling, Crystal, his twin sister. A mere month later, he caused more trouble, but this time at Target, where he sat waiting to encounter a boyfriend-free girl for hours, taking gross advantage of the free refills at his disposal. I was at the new Target store, just hanging around, not bothering anyone. And, from out of the blue, these two managers asked me to leave because they said I was loitering. I was not. I was there hoping to find an 18 to 23-year-old boyfriend-free girl, like I usually do. Then, from out of the blue, after I told them
where
all,
did that get you?
they came back with two jerk cops. I was slightly intimidated, but mostly annoyed and ready to strike back on them. They asked me to leave and never return. I did not want to leave. I would have left peacefully. In fact, I was ready to go. But I had a prepared speech to say to them stupid jerk cops. And, during the middle of my speech, they chased me, pulled my pants, and pinned me to the floor. 5 jerk cops dogpiled on me as I struggled to get free. 1,000 pounds of sausages on my 180-pound body was seriously a cutoff for my breathing flow. They handcuffed my wrists and legs, and they hog-tied me. Not only did I feel humiliated from being the victim, but I was angry at them, not only for handcuffing me, but once again thwarting my efforts in trying to find a boyfriend-free girl. They drove me to the county jail, but fortunately, they did not keep me there. I was released to my family. Chris was charged with trespassing and disorderly conduct. It was terrible, but my mother and I are going to get back at them in court. In fact, I learned that the jerk cop who arrested me was called Baggett. That was the only thing about the situation that was hilarious. Replace the B with an F, and you can see how funny it was.
No.
However, after
that's not
attending 2
fucking
court
funny, is it?
hearings, the charges were dropped. This event was recreated in Sonichu's sub-episodes 7 and 8. But in Chris's reality, he endured much greater torment, and came out victorious in the end. Less than a week later, Chris had another run-in with the law, this time a minor fender bender when he rear-ended the car in front of him. He was fined $30 and also paid $56 in court costs. In August, Christian returned to PVCC after the end of his 1-year suspension. It was around this time that Anna announced that she was moving to Utah. Her announcement also somewhat coincided with her 20th birthday, so Christian and her friends organized a birthday/farewell party for her, with Chris claiming that he picked out and bought the cake himself. Throughout August and September, Chris engaged in back-and-forth conversations via MySpace with 2 female students, Jelena and Lindsay. but despite all his efforts to meet with them, it ultimately came to nothing. In September, Chris finished Sonichu issue 4, which was merely a compilation of sub-episodes 1 through 8. He claimed that his mother didn't want him making any more stories concerning his own life, so he obeyed and stopped making sub-episodes. In October, a user on a Sega forum began a discussion thread about Sonichu, in which members discussed the comic and Christian's personal antics. This was the earliest documented online discussion concerning Christian, but the original Sega forum hosting site has since been shut down and there is no known archive of the discussion chain.
What the hell?
In November,
Oh, they actually talked about this?
a manga anthology magazine, published Chris's letter which vaguely concerned the manga Absolute Boyfriend. Riko Izawa in Absolute Boyfriend sort of has the same problem I do. She can't get a guy, and I can't get a girl. Here's my sitch. All the pretty girls are already paired up with some jerk, leaving me with none to choose from. Also, nobody can tell, off the bat, a paired up from a boyfriend-free girl at first. It's equally hard for Riko to find a girlfriend-free boy. But then she's granted this wish, where she gets a girlfriend-free boy, although he is a robot, delivered to her doorstep. Lucky girl. I'm 23 years old. One would think I'd have gotten a girlfriend by now, but no, I haven't. I'm stuck in the situation where if my parents should pass away, I will be a very lonely virgin. Some months later, a fellow reader sent in a reply to Chris. Why is he only looking for pretty girls? There are plenty of girls who are not supermodel gorgeous, whom he could date. It's not the outside of the package that counts, but the inside. A girl can be pretty on the outside, but might be mean or self-centered or have other problems. Whereas another girl could be plain or even ugly on the outside, but quite a beautiful, kind, intelligent person on the inside. If more guys would think about what qualities they look for in a girl, and make sure those qualities don't just focus on her outer appearance, they might just find a girl to go out with. Otherwise, many girls will think, why bother? He'll just leave me for the next pretty girl he sees. Megan agreed with her sentiment. Chris's advances towards Megan intensified, as is documented in their emails. She declined giving out her phone number, and later in the same email, also declined his invitation to go out to a restaurant. In an email from December, she stated that she did not appreciate Christian trying to kiss her, and admitted that she's not interested in a relationship, but insisted they can remain as friends.
Goodness.
She also confessed to accidentally discovering that he bought Megan a Nintendo DS, even though she had recently just gotten one herself.
Oh shit, dude.
Through Megan. Chris was introduced to My Little Pony and Sailor Moon, with Megan providing him with some of her own fan art. He also began making his own custom My Little Pony figures, including one that he made using his own hair. As an adult male fanatic of My Little Pony, he preceded the so-called brony culture, which would only begin to blossom around 5 years later. Megan also requested him to bid on a collection of World War II photos on eBay, of which Chris was the winning bidder. In 2006, Christian's online spending habits intensified, with Chris purchasing My Little Pony and Sailor Moon figures, pornography, and sex toys, among other things.
What the fuck? Bootylicious Love Doll.
February of
Jesus
2006,
Christ.
Christian finished drawing Sonichu issue 3, which took 7 months to complete.
Damn.
The comic begins with the origin stories of each member of the chaotic combo, whose eggs were created in and ejected from the rainbow as seen in episode 1.
Oh wow.
The green egg lands in the jungle. The electric hedgehog Pokemon that came out of it grows up to become Wild Sonichu. The blue egg lands in the ocean and is rescued by the Pokemon Swampert, which takes it to the beach just in time for it to hatch and become Bubbles Rosechew. The white egg lands in front of a church, and out of it hatches Angelica Rosechew, who is raised by nuns. Mystifyingly, after she evolves into her final form overnight, Christian is outside her window, bringing her a scrunchie and a pair of shoes as a gift. The red egg crashes into Nabe's dojo-shin and hatches. For some reason, Nabe is compelled to rip off the Sunny's tail, causing him to instantly evolve into Punchy Sonichu. The purple egg hatches in a cave, and the purple Sunny starts to telepathically communicate with the Pokemon Mewtwo, who decides to mentor it. Until one day, during meditation, the Sunny suddenly evolves into Magichan Sonichu. He then farts. The episode ends with a final bulletin which would have been more suitable for a television feast rather than a comic book. Stay tuned for when these hedgehogs meet. In the next episode, Blotchu steals a Master Sunstone and through a comedy of errors is met with 4 of the chaotic combo. Eventually, the 5-member troupe teams up with Sonichu and they take down Blotchu, leaving him in a bloody mess. accompanied by a tweet sound effect, commonplace in cartoons.
Ow, he's dead.
The comic closes with a fake ad for a call service that would send one of the 2 single men in the world a beautiful girlfriend or a monkey. In May 2006, Christian attained a CAD degree after 5 years of study, even though it should have only taken 2. For the graduation ceremony, he decided to wear the robe from his high school graduation instead.
Why,
Now
though?
that Christian received this qualification, this made him more likely to get a job and advance his life towards building up a career doing what he loved, and possibly even realizing his wish for the Sonichu franchise to become a dignified reality, making his dream come true.
Interesting. This is the end of part 3. I was just playing Animal Crossing the whole time. I'm sorry. It's truly mind-boggling to realize that Bob saw the Great Depression, Nazis, first-hand war in Korea, and Sonichu all in one lifetime. I'm glad he didn't have to experience what happened post-Sonichu. Nah, true. Chris literally wanted government distributed girlfriends. I'm not loitering. I'm looking for an 18 to 22-year-old boyfriend-free girl. I love classic Chris. He seems intelligent enough to understand that he does not understand. And that is the hardest part of all. I think about that a lot. No, it just hurts, man. I like how many side characters in Chris's life are normal, average people, but because they interacted with Chris at one point in their life, they're known on the internet. I mean, damn. Makes up one word, still misspells it. Seems legit. Imagine how loud and dramatic that no was to get banned from the mall, I swear to God. Like, clearly he downplayed that in his stories, because, like, he still got banned from the mall. An entire mall, so it's like, damn. The entirety of Edgar Allan Poe's life was probably less depressing than the Christmas morning video, yep. He seems intelligent enough to understand he doesn't understand. Man, that's harsh. True, but harsh. Imagine using I had pink eye as a pickup line. The gifts exchange was so sad. Chris kept giving his parents gifts he would want. Yeah, basically. Then when we finally see something his mother would like, a snow globe with him inside, he just has to put a damn Sonichu in it as well. This guy literally can't think outside of his own wants. No, literally. Gina, a snow globe with him in it. Chris, a snow globe with me in it. Okay, so I guess that's it for the Chris Chan thing for today. I got almost 3 hours. Alright.